Watch. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
But it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is the Deep End with Nebraska diver Reagan Hinzig and Nebraska swimmer Madison Ronquillo on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. Hello?
Yeah, you're talking. I crank up the sensitivity a little bit.
I can't hear anything on my end. That's why.
Oh, Jeff was saying the same thing. I'll do the intro. No worries. We'll
Okay.
figure out the headphones. Before the break, I told Madison, I was like, "You got the intro?" And she's like, "Yep." And then we started out, and she doesn't have audio to her
Sorry,
headphones, so.
I dropped the ball.
No, that's production problems. I'll fix that for you in a second. But this is the Deep End. Welcome in. A little bumpy out of the gates here, but no worries. You can join the show. Start at Heyman text line 402-464-5685. You can also watch the stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And you can see these guys are making all sorts of reactions over here. So we got a full show ahead. It's been a while since we've seen Reagan. It's probably been what?
Probably like a month.
Month so since the last been on here.
Yeah.
Luckily, Madison and Cece's been a special guest quite a few times, kind of helping carry the show on. But I mean, we'll probably just start with you. What you've been up to? I know obviously you had your season kind of coming to a close here. So
Yeah. I think the first week I was gone, I just wasn't feeling well. And then the next week, Kelsey and I were gone for zones, which is the meet that you have to have a score to get to. But then at that meet is the meet that you qualify for nationals with. So then you had to get top 9 on 3 meter, top 10 on 1 meter, and top 10 on platform to move on to NCAAs. And Kelsey actually got 7th on tower and qualified for nationals. And then that next week, spring break, was NCAAs, and Kelsey got 30 something on tower, and which is really good for a freshman. So we're all really proud of her. Great job, Kelsey. So yeah, that's kind of what has been going on in the diving world. And then spring break and school starting back up is basically all I've been doing in non-diving world. So.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out this headphone for Madison yet, because I don't know, it might be the box. Jeff said something. It was at the very end of the show, so when we go to break, we'll figure that out. But in the meantime, I'll just give you my headset. You don't really need it, it's just so we don't talk over each other for the most part. So
yeah,
nonetheless, we'll figure it out. Man, just a bumpy start. I was working all morning, and then you come in here just right off the gate. The headphone isn't working. That seems to be a problem with these. I don't know if you guys have noticed how many headphones we have laying around, but they go bad. Seems a lot of people break them, roll over them with the chair. But it's been a mess. But anyways, Reagan, kind of back to you if you have anything else left to add on to that. I know kind of left the show to you for a little bit there, but
What was Kelsey's score?
Oh, I can look real quick. It's gonna take me a second, so it might be silent.
You're good. In the meantime, how's school going for you?
For me?
Yep.
It's fine.
Is it nice to have like more free time to actually focus in on things?
Oh yeah, I have so much free time. I don't know what to do myself because I'm also in kind of like that, last semester senior 9 credits.
Yeah, just kind of chilling out, vibing.
We're very much chilling. Like yesterday, I was like, I'll go to the coffee shop and do some work because that's one of my favorite things to do. Is go to the coffee shop, eavesdrop on other conversations, and do my work. And I went there and I finished all my assignments for the next month in like 30 minutes. And I was like, well, okay, this is boring.
I see you got a month worth done in half an hour.
Yeah. So
Are you trying to pick up new hobbies? Like some to occupy the time that you have? Or are you just like, I have it off. I'm going to sit in front of a TV because I get to finally.
well, I started doing bar classes.
Oh, that's right. I
Like-
think we talked a little. How's that going for you?
It's really good. I like it. It's very different. It's very challenging because it definitely works muscles that you, I guess, are just very weak from swimming. But yeah, no. So I've been doing that.
Are you recruiting people to join you in some of those classes so far?
Trying, but everyone else went back to swim already, so they're kind of like, I don't want to do anything more.
That's
which,
true.
understandably. But
Would
yeah.
you do a bar class, Reagan? If
I've done one.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I died. Not
So-
actually, but like it was
you're
hard.
here.
It was hard.
Would you do it again or no?
I'd do it again, yeah.
Okay. What's so hard about it? You guys are because I'd imagine you guys are in shape still. Like there's no way you fell out of shape that fast. Like what's the challenge? What makes it so much harder?
I think it's the fact that like you have to. It's a lot of like isometric
Okay.
movements. So you're holding it. So like, for example, holding your leg straight out in front of you, standing up straight, and then they tell you to hold it, and then they tell you to move
Mhm.
your leg in like tiny little circles, and they're like, okay, now move back. Okay, now move it side to side. Okay, now move it up and down. Okay, now bend the leg that you're standing on. So like if you have your right leg up, now bend your left leg. Okay, now go on your toes on your left leg. And like they tell you to do all of that without like taking a break.
Okay. So it's like the workout seems easy, but it's nonstop.
Yes.
And I can imagine just holding your leg up that long alone.
Like after a while, it just gets heavy.
Yeah.
And then and then you get into like shaking, like literal shaking, uncontrollable, and like you like take a break step and you're like, okay, I'm good. And you go back and you go immediately back to shaking. So like it's a lot of balance and a lot of core work, and like little movements like that are just 10 times harder than you'd think.
Is it one of those gyms where they crank the heat up?
No.
Okay, that's
No,
nice.
no.
I can't do
Hot
those gyms.
yoga. Oh
Ugh.
man.
But at least yoga, you're just stretching. Like it,
Yeah, but you're still like slipping and sliding because you're sweating so much.
yeah, I've never done a hot yoga. I don't think I'd enjoy it too. I do like stretching. I do like yoga, but a hot yoga I've never done. It feels like it could be relaxing, but like you said, I didn't think about everyone just kind of sliding around
Yeah,
on their sweat in there.
I liked it, but like, I don't know if I'd do it as my main form of exercise.
Yeah.
Kelsey was 34th with a score of 214 flat.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and they were judging hard.
Really?
I was watching, and like there was one judge that was consistently 2 points lower than everybody else.
2 points?
Yeah, like it'd be like 6.5, 6, 6.5, 4.5, 6, 6.5, and I was like, bro, what?
At
What
least
are
he
you
was
seeing?
consistent. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're off, at least you're off and you're consistent about being off. Because it'd be really bad if he was like, here's 6, 6, this person 9, and then
Yeah.
he goes back down. But that's
Yeah.
kind of weird. Why was he? Do you get to like understand what they're critiquing so hard after?
Okay, so the United States is known to judge very easy.
Okay.
So like they really mainly only focus on entries, which is like that rip sound that you hear at the Olympics and stuff. But then international judges really focus on trying to like watch it like cohesively. So watch every single movement. And so in C's there are a lot of international judges.
So it's a little more like gymnastics, where it's the whole routine, not
Yeah.
just okay.
So like let's say you're on tower and you're doing a handstand and you get up to the handstand and you like show control. That's a good thing. But then like they'll take off if you like do a balance check. Or they'll take off if they see your legs like flutter a little bit. Or they'll take off if they don't see your legs are straight in a pike. And then like obviously if you don't land the entry, like that's the last thing the judges see. But the United States is really known to really like if the dive was ugly but you had a really nice rip and there was no splash, you'll still get like 7.5, 8, 8.5.
Okay, so the international ones, like that's way more. You'll probably get a lower score.
Yeah.
So were you guys surprised by him to give lower scores? Or was it like, okay, that makes sense?
I don't know who he was, but
Oh, you're assuming maybe he was
yeah.
international?
Well, I knew that there were some international judges.
Okay.
We just don't know which judges, like judge number 4, we don't know who it is. Like we have there's like a list of judges, but it doesn't tell you which judge number they are. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, to kind of hide their
Yeah.
if they have make it so it's like you're not just headhunting certain judges you think are
Yeah.
unfair.
Yeah, so me and Kelsey were texting back and forth, and we were like, "Bro, what is this judging?" And she was like, "It is hard." Like the scores were really low compared to like years in the past or previous years and stuff.
I can imagine if he's giving averages that low.
Yeah, and 3-meter was wild. 3-meter was crazy.
Explain.
There were a lot of failed dives, like double digits failed dives.
Whoa.
Or balks, which so a balk is like you do your approach and then you stop before you go and you turn around and you have to do it again. And so like I was texting Kelsey because I was like, there's no way that like if there are that many things happening, there's no way that it was the athletes themselves. Like if there's one or
Because
two
the board, maybe.
if there are one or two failed dives, like all right, that's the person's fault. But they're at nationals, like they're the best of the best. And she was like, yeah. I was like, dude, what's going on with the boards? And she was like, yeah, there's this new fulcrum. So the fulcrum is the wheel
Okay.
that I told you to move up when you did.
When I did my dive.
Back in my day.
Back in my day.
They have these new fulcrums that are like technology based.
Okay. So
And
it's not
this-
just like a hand crank wheel.
Yeah, or a foot crank wheel. We don't get down and use our hands. It's kind of nasty. But they like had those there and nobody's ever dove with those. And so Kelsey was like, the boards are almost like too good. Like we're not used to diving on those. But like they're gonna be at NCs and then they're gonna be at like the Olympics. So they're gonna have them. They're gonna start implementing them more.
Like it's like a button that you press
Probably
it
has
in
like
with?
what does it have like a little
show
LED display screen, and then you just put in the settings on that like a touchpad.
I don't know how to describe it. I've only really seen it once, but like you know how things are always like evolving.
Mhm.
We've had the same fulcrum since like the 60s.
Oh, okay. So it's kind
So,
of due for
Yeah,
something new.
That's weird though. That it throws them off so much by being more perfect. It's almost like they anticipate a little imperfection. I don't know. That now I'm curious as to how that works. That you have better equipment, supposedly. If it's too good, that you have double digits.
I think it's just gonna take some getting used to because we didn't have them at like zones or anything. Okay, let's see if I can. It looks like that,
Okay.
and it's just a box, but now it's under the entire board, and I don't really know.
Like it just feels different.
It feels different.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
it's just like a whole big box that runs underneath the board, and then it's still got the wheel that you adjust. With
It
your
still
foot.
has the wheel.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Interesting.
I
Now I'm really
can't-
trying to figure out why there's so
I'll
many
do some
failed
digging.
dives.
I'll come
Yeah.
back next week and be like, okay, this is what's new with the fulcrum and stuff like that. I know you can like get your logo on like you know how there was a circle like in the center you can get like your school's logo. I know
that's
that,
cool.
but I don't know anything else. So
Okay.
Have you been able to dive on it?
No.
No, not. Have you seen them anywhere else other than?
Mm-mm.
That's okay. I wonder if that's going to be come into play. You think that's going to be like take over most of the diving boards, like throughout all just your Power 5 programs?
Yeah.
That is crazy. I wonder how much one of those cost.
$20,000, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh.
For one.
Mm-hmm. And there are at least 4 boards in every
I was going to say
diving well.
you're going to have to get $80,000 together.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'd imagine they take some money off though. There's no way if you're buying that many
I
that
don't
they're
think
going to
so.
charge you
It's
full
brand
price.
new, and USA Diving is broke. So like they'll probably do anything they can.
What's the company?
It's called Duraflex.
Duraflex.
But that'd be the thing,
Mhm.
like you said, if that's truly the reason there's so many failed dives, and if it's that expensive, like are we gonna see that pattern for a long time until schools can get used to those? Like that's kind of interesting. If they're that expensive, I don't know how many schools are gonna be willing to throw $80,000 into that.
Yeah, but then also you have to take into consideration how many collegiate athletes are at the top of their game and competing internationally. And if international things competitions have those, they have to get used to them at home before they go to an international competition.
I know. I'm just curious if we're gonna see like they will have to adjust, but if they don't have the time, like is next year gonna be like is it gonna be a few bumpy years of like you said, just like failed
Probably.
dives because they're
Trial and
trying to
error.
get used to it. Yeah,
Like I'd assume that like we're going to be one of the last schools to implement it.
probably. We're due for some new input. We've talked about it before. But you guys are due for a little upgrade. The only problem is I don't know how you'd upgrade the current pool you have now. You'd almost
Yeah.
like need a new building.
Yeah, there were blueprints, right? Were they like this is what I heard. There were blueprints back in the day of a new pool, and like
yes.
it was a pool, and then you'd walk outside and it was like a golfing range, but it was like Top Golf but for Nebraska.
Yeah, because I know the golfers had, before they recently got their last update, they
Yeah.
were like, they had nothing, basically.
Yeah.
And like the original plan was for us to get the Olympic trial pool when they first had the Olympic trials in Omaha that
Mhm.
year. But then like, I think it was like the president or someone in the university side, not even the athletic department side, said no.
I think it was the
Because-
rec center.
Oh, the rec center. Yes, because we were going to take over. There's that indoor field that's connected to the rec center.
Yep.
They were going to throw the pool in that, but then they said no.
We don't need a new pool.
Yeah. So
Is what we have been told. I don't know if how much of that is like accurate,
yeah,
but
We just don't know why it fell through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably a few programs that are due. That'd be honestly, as an athletic director, that'd be really hard to figure out who are you listening to, because like obviously there's going to be sports that are way outdated,
mm-hmm.
but also at the same time like
football makes money.
yeah, football makes money. So
Yeah.
like, you want to keep, because that's going to bring the money in to allow you to fix those other programs' facilities, and then you look like a jerk for focusing on the one that everyone's already paying attention to. That'd be a tricky thing to balance. I'm glad I don't have Trev Albert's job. Like that'd be a hard job to have.
Yeah, and like at our last SAC meeting, Trev Alberts came and spoke about that very thing.
Oh, really?
About the fact that he's trying to find a solution to be able to balance the money, especially with all this new legislation coming in about whether or not athletes should be paid. Well, like, okay, like say we have like a certain amount of money coming in as revenue, and half of that is going to go towards athletes with this new legislation. So then how are we going to still be able to keep up what we offer as an athletic department with still like just
Yeah.
like
Like
where's the money going to come from, basically?
Well, I feel like a lot of people that are in those like swim and dive and like the other sports that don't make money, like we understand we don't make money for the school. So
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, it'd be nice to have a new pool, but we also are like we're not contributing anything to the new pool, so
Yeah, like it's just tricky spot.
yeah, I don't know if I'd want to, like you said, I don't know if I'd want Trev's job.
it'd be a hard job too. And then every now and then you have teams that really take off and they turn out to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're not anticipating it, but now there is a push for a big fandom for this sport that maybe you didn't think of at the beginning. Like I know softball in particular, like I didn't realize they're going to be this good, like, and they're really picking up steam. And now like the fan base is growing with it. So now it's like, maybe if you weren't planning for that, you might want to put more resources. So like you said, it's just a lot of moving pieces.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a tough job to have. But while we're here, we might as well throw it to break. Kind of get off that subject, but we still have a full hour ahead, or about 45 minutes or so, go until 12, and then we will still have the breeze that will run from 12 to 1. That'll be me, DP, and Haas. I'm sure we'll be talking March Madness on that one, and games will start around 1:20, and we'll set you up with Westwood 1 for that one. So it's gonna be a full day right here on the ticket. You got plenty of shows yet, and then you still got March Madness all being aired on here. We'll throw it to break on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
March is a month of good luck, from epic runs in state basketball to watching Cinderella spring the upset in college basketball. And of course, St. Patrick's Day. Luck is on your side at Mullen Motors too, because their lot is full of great vehicles to take home. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Your luck starts this month at Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, Order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa,
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling. The limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Back to the deep end with Reagan and Madison on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the deep end. Better start this time. Headphones are working.
Yes.
We got Madison set up properly now.
No bumps.
Yeah, one of the jacks is just not working for some reason, so I'll have to play with that after all the shows are done. But nonetheless, you guys can join the show through the Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685, and we are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We just kind of got done talking about the how do I want to word this? The difficulties of being an AD. And luckily we had Magic stop in and tell Reagan that what you guys do does have some value. Obviously, we were talking about the money thing, a little tougher, but nonetheless, as an athletic program, there are people that definitely like to read and see how everyone's doing. And I think that's kind of one thing Matt Rule has done as well. I don't know how much have you guys been able to talk to him, but he's very big on just bringing the athletic community together, like having people show up to events. I like that a lot. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think that's a great way to kind of get everyone together.
Were we at Big Tens? It might have been the week before Big Tens when we took a training trip to Mizzou. Or it was Big Tens. Matt Rule walked into the dry land room, and while like the club divers were practicing, and he hugged two of the divers, like the club
Aw.
divers. He just was
Aw.
like, I just wanted to see what it looked like. And then he was like, or he said he might have given them like a high five or something and been like, keep up the good work or something.
Yeah, that's awesome. To me.
And he one of whoa, I can't talk. They were both brothers. So like there's a set of 3 brothers that
Okay.
are on the club team. And the youngest one texted Landon and was like, Matt Rule just came in and gave me a high five. And Landon was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was nice.
I haven't gotten to talk to him. I've only seen him like in passing walking through the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that idea though, because I think especially for what we believe he is like a culture builder. So I'm very curious to see like what his first steps are. And so far, it kind of makes sense how he's able to turn a team like Baylor from 1-11 to 11-1. Again, probably reading too far into the future, but it feels good to kind of see like, okay, how did you build a culture where your athletic program doesn't just pull for their names, but you pull together as an entire roster? And that was just very evident on the football team. And it for him, it looks like it starts with the entire athletic program. So it's really cool to see him get everyone involved in the sports. Like I know it's a challenge he has for the football players to show up to other athletic events.
Mm-hmm. Did you have practice the day that football was at Devaney?
I'm not sure.
I think at least a lot of the players were like just helping out around Devaney. Like some of the football players like came and like brought us the new board, not the new boards, but like the boards that we found out we had in a storage thing. And so we got like, cause we had 2 boards with cracks in them.
Mhm.
And so there were 4 boards just sitting there and they
Oh.
helped bring them in. And like some of them were like helping like set up for the gymnastics meet and stuff like
Oh.
that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
I was like, that's like, I was just like, whoa, that's like different. Like I'm not used to seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I've been hearing too.
Yeah.
Hearing the gymnasts, like they're seeing a lot more, like for some of the football players, and I think it's kind of having a bleeding effect because it's not even just. I feel like it's kind of everyone, and I think that's probably what it takes to build a successful athletic program. Like you probably need it to be way more. Like we root as an athletic program, not just we're good at volleyball, baseball, and whatever, softball. Yeah, we're good there. It's just like not up and down. It's like no, as a whole program, we're all pulling for each other. So it is really cool to see Matt Rule interact with all the coaches. And I don't know. I just really hope it works. It's just like I'm going to be devastated if it doesn't work again. But we got a little bit of time. Have you guys been watching March Madness at all? Have you had time? I know you've only had 9 credits, so you got time. But is it interest you at all?
No.
Reagan, what about you?
I haven't been like watching, but I've been following along, and my bracket is horrendous.
I think everyone's is. Did you make a bracket?
No.
Okay.
I don't know anything about basketball.
Those are the people that typically do the best, though.
Are
the people that, because I don't think anyone have been like, oh, I'll have number 9 FAU, number 6 Creighton, number 5 San Diego State. Like no one's gonna pick those high seeds. But if you didn't know anything, you might have done that, and you'd be right.
Yeah, I know my sister made a bracket one year entirely based off whether or not she liked the mascot.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a common one. Colors. My mom's always big on who's got the prettier jerseys, and she would just go image through image on, and that she would win sometimes. So it just kind of tells you like it's very funny.
My friend is doing one with like her family,
Mhm.
and she's from Lawrence, so like everybody had Kansas winning.
Yeah.
Like she had Kentucky versus Kansas in the final, which is like looking back, it was a rookie mistake because Kentucky always chokes.
Yep.
But she was like, who put what is FDU? Fairleigh Dickinson? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's I think it's Fairleigh Dickinson. I think that's up in like the Northeast region. I think that's Jersey or New York region.
Well, like there were like 14 people in like her family's like bracket thing tournament, and 11 of them picked Kansas to win, and then somebody picked Houston. She picked Kansas, and then she was like, who would put FDU to win? And she was like, why would you put a 16 seed to win? And then they beat Purdue.
Yep.
And she was like, I'm gonna stop talking now.
It's so hard to tell. And I was talking about this on the first show. Just all athletics. I feel like we're just getting more and more and more even. The way athletics is like continuing to grow, and the performance of athletes is like continuing to get pushed, and it's getting better at the lowest level starting in high school. Just feels like everything's getting more balanced out. Like we saw the 16 seed beat the 1 seed for the first time ever twice in the past 5 years.
Well, I read something that FDU didn't even win their conference championship.
Yeah, no. So who they lose to? They lost, but the team that won. So if you win your conference, it's a buy-in automatic.
Yeah.
But if you lose, obviously you don't make it unless the winner isn't qualified to go. There, I can't remember what the reason was. If they,
I thought it was because they were transitioning from D2 to D1.
Yep, that's what it is.
And then
they have to.
is it like a 4-year?
It's like 4 or 3 years, something like that. So yeah, so they, like you said, they didn't even win their game to get in there, and then they pull that upset off.
Yeah. It was wild.
It's March Madness. I love it.
Well, she texted me and she's like, dude, what is going on? Like, what is this month? And without even hesitation, I was like, it's madness. Like, I didn't even think of like the joke. And she was like, ha ha ha, so funny. You're so funny. And I was like, thank you. I didn't even realize I did it.
So you get a little bit into it. If you see an upset, like you'll perk your ears up.
Yeah.
Okay. But
well,
you're
like I pay attention to it because I was watching the Kentucky K-State game.
Okay, that was awesome.
And I was like, I texted my friend. I was like, Kentucky just lost, and she's like, no.
Yeah, Kansas State yesterday. I thought for sure they'd win it, but they cannot stop their center. They're just getting bullied. But we'll get off that subject. I don't want to talk about March Madness the whole time. Nonetheless, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. That's how you can join the show and give your input. So Reagan, kind of what you've been up to now that you're getting a little more free time on your hands.
Practice starts back up. Like this week is optional, and then next week it starts like the mandatory 8 hours when you're in off season and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a meeting with a doctor for my back tomorrow at 4:30. So I'm gonna see how that goes before I like do anything moving forward.
Is it are you like the pain getting worse or just same now or not going away?
It's the same, and that's kind of what's like scary is because I'm not doing it. I'm not working out 3 hours a day, and hasn't gotten any better. So
yeah, backs aren't fun to deal with. Do you have an idea on what it might be?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
How long have you had this pain?
Since January.
Yeah, it's probably time to get looked at.
Well, I've already had one MRI, and then it like got worse as like the season went on. So then now we're trying to get another one. But yeah, free time it's still like not a thing for me. So
yeah, because you still have you have quite a few credits, right? You're not pulling 9 like Madison.
No, I'm in 9 classes.
That is insane. Are you kind of like breath release that? Because now 9 classes on top of your athletics would be insane. Do you feel at least a little more relaxed now that you have some time off?
This past week, no, not at all.
Busy week for school.
Busy week for school because I had I had a 20-minute presentation to do, and then I also had like a bunch of like major assignments due. So it's just like a lot of running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But it's nice to get a couple days, like instead of like having practice Saturday morning, it's nice to have Saturday, Sunday off.
Yeah. Well, since I have both you guys here, what was your? I know we kind of talked about this last time when CC was here, but Reagan, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it. What was your favorite memories or moments of the season, even if it's funny or if it's a happy one because you guys won? Do you have like a favorite moment?
Honestly, it was probably with Kelsey at Zones. There was the last night before like Tower, so like I was done with my season at this point, and we were on some crackhead energy in the hotel room. Like we were just like jumping on the beds and like moonwalking and like gritting across the lobby. Like we didn't even know what we were doing, and we were just like, "This is whoa!" Like, but then because then we both put on our like Snapchat stories. Oh my gosh, I need to ask you. Do you, when you use toilet paper, do you fold or crumple?
Fold.
Okay.
That's a strange question. I don't think I've ever been asked that. I was thinking it was going to be even more basic. Like, do you put the toilet paper with it out, or do you have it flipped to the inside? You know?
No. That's one of the questions we were thinking of, like that last night.
Okay.
We were just like this, but like with the team, honestly, I'd just say like the camaraderie that happens at the end of each meet. I really enjoy like just going as like a group and like probably like giving us that pep talk and just like being like, yeah, we did that. So
I will say everyone you brought on here, both you guys, the guests you brought on, the team all seems to definitely have the right intentions for each other, which I'd hope. But nonetheless, you guys all seem like great people. So again, it's obviously the season's over. What are you guys kind of excited about for next year's team? Madison, I know you won't be there, but nonetheless, what do you kind of see for those guys in the future?
I don't know. It's going to be a very different dynamic because we have 10 incomings and half of them are international. So there'll be that kind of like thing to navigate, the cultural differences to navigate. But in terms of like leadership, this will be one of the first times in a couple years where like there's like all the captains that will be elected will have never been a captain before. And so I think that'll be really like interesting to see who like how different people step up,
right?
And how different people kind of make that intentional step to be a leader on the team. But overall, I think it's a great group of people, or a great group of girls that are going to make up this team. And so I think that if they can continue to build off the culture that we really worked towards this past year, it'll be really good. I'm excited for them.
Yeah, hopefully they rework the NIL deal for foreign students too. I know it's probably a little more hard to get opportunities, but they're definitely still out there for swimmers and divers, because like that always blows my mind how like foreign students can't get NIL.
Yeah,
it's so dumb.
Yeah,
it makes it so hard, because now Keisei Tamanaga on the basketball team, you stay, dude, you'll be the face of the Big Ten next season. If you stay, you'll get all this money, and it's like, nope, he can't get a dime. And like it's just a bummer. But anyways, Reagan, what about you?
Like she said, it's definitely going to be a different, like, not dynamic, but like this is one of the first times I think since I've been here that the underclassmen outnumber the upperclassmen. And so it's definitely gonna be take an adjustment period, especially like on top of the freshmen like adjusting to college. But I think
in the US for some of them.
Yeah. And I think after we get past that, it's going to be a tight knit group of girls that like genuinely want the best for everybody on this team. And not that this year wasn't. I'm just saying that like I think
the growth.
Yeah, continuing, and I think we have an idea of what we want to accomplish next year.
Absolutely. With that being said, though, we will throw to our last break here on the Deep End. I'm Harrison Arns running the board here with Reagan and Madison on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. We'll be back right after this break.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters.
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner. Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat. Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Don't let biased algorithms or degree screens or exclusive professional networks or stereotypes. Don't let anything keep you from discovering the half of the workforce who are stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time to tear the paper ceiling and see the stars beyond it. Find out how you can make stars part of your talent strategy at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Back to the deep end with Reagan and Madison on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the deep end. I am Harrison Arns running the board. We got Reagan and Madison here with us as well. If you're not catching the stream, you should do because they're making some. I don't even know what's going on over across the table. I'll be honest. I start this show, and I just see out of the corner of my eye on the stream a ton of hand movements, and then every time I look over, you guys just like, oh, we're not doing anything.
We're imitating bumps in the road in a car.
Oh, because you guys forgot the highs and lows, or what?
That and the microphone or the headset. All the bumps that happened.
We fixed it. We're good
did.
though.
Okay,
We
so
figured it out.
I'll reverse it back. It's smooth.
Yeah, there you go. You're gonna have bumps. You're gonna have highs and lows. It's what you make out of it.
Wow.
Getting all philosophical.
I wasn't trying to. I said that. And I was like, I was really hoping not for a silence after, like keep the conversation. That was like that almost sounded like me trying to sound smart, and that's not a good look either. So anyway, highs and lows, and then we'll go on to rule changes, and then we'll maybe talk about the men's as well.
I don't. You go first.
Okay. Wednesday I had a really important presentation. It was 20 minutes long.
Ooh.
And I was really worried because it was about a female composer, and there was maybe a paragraph of information that I found online. And I don't know how I was supposed to make 20 minutes out of a paragraph, but I ended up getting a 98. So
nice.
High, definitely. Low, I told y'all in the last segment that I was having meeting with like a doctor for my back tomorrow, and it was supposed to be yesterday. So like I understand why, because he like had flight issues and couldn't get in time and stuff like that.
That's a bummer.
But like, yeah, that's really the only low I could think of.
Just having to reschedule, just the nuisance of having to reschedule things.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna shift my timeline to include spring break. My high was that I ran my first half marathon.
Oh yeah, you talked about that. How'd it go?
Yeah, it was good. It like the thing that hurt the most was like my knees and my ankles from like the impact.
Yeah.
So I think I just got to get used to more of the running.
Do
But
you have good shoes?
yes,
Okay.
I tried like 4 different pairs of shoes running.
Okay, smart.
running
'Cause I know for
so-
some people that's a problem, and it's like, dude, the shoes have 0. You've worn those out. You've been running them for 5 years. They're
Yeah.
probably not gonna feel good.
Are you
Yeah.
doing the one here?
Yes,
When is that? May?
that's May 9th.
5 weeks.
Oh, are you doing it?
Nah, is it too late to sign up? I should.
I don't think so.
I
Do
should.
Might just be a little more.
Because I know Jeff
expensive.
and Nicole are doing it,
Mm.
and then that's how I know it's 5 weeks from today. I'm not
Oh.
like tracking it. Like
I
I'm
was
getting
gonna
ready.
say.
No, but I should, because I'm slowly getting back into running. And then I have a friend. Do you guys have Map My Run?
Map my run. No.
It's like it just gives you. It's like a Twitter feed almost, but it tells you all your friends running and the routes they took, and it shows a
Mm.
map and their times and all
Mm.
that. And I have a friend right now that I won't say his name because I didn't ask him if I get permission, but like it's like I wake up 8 a.m. I get a notification he's completed a run, 7 miles, like 6 minutes 30-second splits.
Oh.
And then I'm like, oh my god, he got it in today. I need to work out sometime today. And then I missed my workout. And then 11 o'clock it goes off again. Mac, or I just said his name. It's fine. They're not going to recognize that, but nonetheless, it's 11 o'clock at night. I don't know if he's running on a treadmill. He completes like another 5-mile workout, and it's like every day. The dude's crazy. Like I've just
Wow.
been amazed following his times. Like as he just keeps getting better and better and better. So that's what I'm trying to get into. But nonetheless, I should do that half marathon because hopefully that gets me motivated. But
Mhm.
you're set to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make signs for you and Cece.
You're not going to do it.
Caitlin's not doing it
Oh,
anymore.
I'll make signs for you.
Yay.
No.
Have you ever been a runner?
I ran cross country in like junior high.
Did you like it?
No. It was a more thing to stay in shape.
Yeah.
Like athlete shape. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I that does make sense because the runner shape is different.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it's very thin and more depending on what you're going for. But yeah, that's cool that you're going to do that again though. How was the first go about?
It was fun. It was part of the rock and roll series.
Okay.
So they had like bands stationed throughout, and it was downtown DC. So like we ran across like the Arlington Bridge and around the Lincoln Memorial, and then you finished at the Capitol.
Oh, that would be awesome. Was
Mhm.
that your very first half marathon or have you done one before?
No, that was my very first one.
Are you kind of hooked now?
I haven't ran since.
So no, but
I think honestly, looking back, I think I did it just to say that I did a half marathon. But I mean, like it was enjoyable.
are you going to have the itch though to just be able to say I've ran a marathon?
I don't know.
Because it's actually not that it's a hard thing to do, but considering there's no time limit, it's very manageable, and there's a very, very small percentage of people that can say I've ran a marathon. So I think it'd just be cool to have that under the belt. It's not like you need a time to say I've finished.
I've walked
Yeah.
a marathon.
It counts.
It
You've
counts.
completed a marathon.
You're a
We did it-
marathoner.
You
we-
don't say I ran it, but you can say I've
I
completed
walked,
a marathon.
I've walked it.
Yeah.
We did that over. Me and my friend did it over COVID. We were like, we're bored. Let's walk a marathon.
I remember that was a trend like on TikTok.
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's probably still a good workout. Like you
It
probably
took,
would
like,
be sore.
8 hours.
Yeah. I'll never forget. I think it was my freshman year, and we were downtown, just hanging out, or not my freshman year because I was legal to drink. Let's not get this mixed up. I was legal to drink, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to drive. Like that's gonna be dangerous. I don't want to get pulled over. Let's do the responsible thing. Let's walk home. In my state, I completely underestimated the walk home. I probably left at 11 and I got home at 3 a.m. So go like 27th and O intersection, kind of around there,
Okay.
and walk all the way to Yankee Hill. I would,
Dude,
I don't
Yankee
know.
Hill?
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was fine, but
That's a lot of hills too.
so that was probably a marathon or close to it. Oh, it was the dumbest thing I think I've ever done. Because I just remember like getting home and my girlfriend was like, "What are you doing?" Because my phone died, so I couldn't call a ride. So it's one of those things when like by the time I realized I did that, I put my thumb out. I was getting desperate. I was about to hitchhike, and because like my phone died, and I was already like a good hour into it, and I was like, "Oh man, it's too late to turn around now." So yeah, just the dumbest thing that you said, walking a marathon. That just made me think of that. There's a fun little anecdote. Do you guys got anything else we can add to this before we wrap it up here? I kind of just took the ending there.
What was your low?
Oh, my low? That there's 7 weeks left in the semester still. I feel like we've been going on forever.
Fair. And then you wanted to talk about the backstroke.
Oh yeah, there was a backstroke rule change real quick. Before the rule was that you had to at least have something like above the water when you finish. So like a lot of people would dive back and like flick their feet up by the time they hit the wall. But then now they made a rule where you can be completely submerged. And so people are starting to, when they hit the flags, go completely underwater, streamline butterfly into the wall on their back.
That gonna, aren't the records would pretty much get shattered then?
Oh yeah.
They?
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting shattered anyway, so.
True.
Yeah. Now they'll just be even more shattered.
Something to watch nonetheless. That's going to do it for the deep end, though. We still have the breeze up next. That's going to go from 12 to 1, and then we will set you up for some March Madness. We got Creighton, San Diego State. I think they tip off at 1:20, so we'll have all that for you here as well. Westwood One will be running that on air on 93.7 The Ticket. But appreciate you guys listening, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Sunday morning. It's quiet. Not in a